So the topic that we are going to learn today is knowledge and curriculum. Now, if I ask you in simple words, what is knowledge? It will be easier for all of us to say that anything that you learn, you gain, or you share throughout your lifetime is called knowledge. So one thing which is very clear here is that knowledge is a two-way process. It's not a one-way process, it's a two-way process where you gain knowledge also and you share the knowledge as well. So if a question comes in your B.Ed examination where you are asked about knowledge, so the first thing that you would write here is knowledge consists of facts, concepts, theories and principles, of course. So knowledge is something in which you share the facts, the concept, the theories and the principle. So what do you do here? Basically, you teach these things and you learn as well. So if you need to write the definition of knowledge, so knowledge is when you share and learn, when you teach and learn fact, concept, theories and principles. Now, another important point here which is asked in knowledge and curriculum is, what are the sources of knowledge? How do you gain this knowledge from? I told you that you share, you teach, you learn. But what are the sources? Now, here are certain abbreviations which I have used which are going to help you in the examination. You don't have to go through the book. I will give you certain abbreviations. So, whenever you get a question related to so, do remember RARE, IS. Now let me tell you the full form of this. R stands for reason, rational language. A here stands for authority. R again here stands for revealed faith, knowledge. E here stands for experimentation. I here stands for intuition. And S here stands for, I'm writing it below, sense, empirical knowledge. Now let us understand one by one what does this term means. Let's start with our reason, rational language. Now if I talk about reasonal and rational thinking is when you use your mind and you do not have knowledge of the predefined things. Now for a very basic example, if I write here A is greater than B and B is greater than C, then if you use the deduction method, if you use your mind, A will naturally be greater than C. Now this is a rational knowledge that you have acquired from these 2 points. This is not something which was inbuilt. This is derived from these 2 conditions using your mind. So reason, rational language means the knowledge which is acquired through your mind. Now number 2 is authority. Authority is when you consider that you have gained the knowledge directly from the God or from the people who believe in God, from saints, who people have a different level of knowledge. If you acquire knowledge from them, it is known as authority. Next is revealed faith knowledge. Now when this word faith comes, it is understood that faith and regional means a religion. Revealed faith knowledge means when you acquire information through the books. You have faith in your books. Every religion has faith in books. It could be Ramayana, it could be Bhagavad Gita, it could be Quran, it could be Bible. So when we acquire knowledge from these books, it is called revealed faith knowledge. E is the experimentation. Experimentation means knowledge which is acquired from observation. When you observe something, when you work on an experiment, Experimentation is clear. When you work on certain experiment, when you wait for something to be seen, that knowledge acquired from observation is under experimentation category. Now next here is intuition. Intuition means the knowledge that you get by your personal experience. Sometimes, let me take a very basic example. You have a friend and the friend ditches you for some reason. So now you have the knowledge of fake people. Now this is through your personal experience. So the knowledge acquired by a personal experience comes under the category of intuition. Now comes the last, sense empirical knowledge. This sense empirical, from the word itself it is clear. Sense empirical knowledge is the knowledge which you get by the sense organs, by the sensing. You get it either from seeing, by hearing, by smelling, by feeling, or by tasting. The other important question which is asked apart from the sources of knowledge is the types of knowledge. Now whenever this comes, remember P cube. Now what does this P cube means here? The types of knowledge is personal knowledge, second is procedural knowledge, and the third one is propositional knowledge. Now I'll tell these in very short, because if you just write these headings and a simple explanation, that would work. Personal knowledge is which is gained by acquaintance. Knowledge that you get from your personal experiences, from your personal people, from your personal belief. Any knowledge that is acquired by a personal experience comes under the category of personal. Procedural means, as the name suggests, the knowledge that is gained through procedure. For example, if you need to learn how to learn to drive a car. If you need to drive a car, then it is a procedure. So driving a car knowledge comes under the category of procedural knowledge. Next would be how to do juggling. How to do juggling. Now juggling is something which is not learned inherently. It cannot be learned by ourselves. It is learned by steps. You go to a person, the person teaches you the step, hold the balls in your hand, then throw them at a level. So something which is learned through procedure. The knowledge which is learned through procedure comes into the category of procedural knowledge. And last is propositional. Propositional is also known as philosophical knowledge. Propositional is also known as philosophical knowledge. Philosophy, as the name suggests, the knowledge which is predetermined. For example, if we say, I knew you ate my sandwich. Now this knowledge is not which is derived from something. It is a philosophical thing. We knew the person would eat our sandwich and consume it. So such kind of knowledge which is basically into our philosophy, that comes under the category of propositional knowledge. Now next very important part which is basically asked in the examination is acquiring knowledge. What are the ways through which knowledge can be acquired? So whenever this question comes, we need to remember a short abbreviation that I have made, which is a retro. So one by one I shall tell you the full form of it. R here stands for reason or logic. A here stands for authority. T here stands for testimony. R here stands for revelation. And O here stands for observation. So in case the question is asked, what are the types of knowledge, what are the sources of knowledge, and what is the way through which a knowledge is acquired? So this point can be written, and these are self-explanatory. So this is basically about knowledge, how knowledge can be acquired, what are the sources of knowledge. With knowledge, we had studied about curriculum. So with the definition of curriculum can be as simple as, this word is derived from a Latin word, currere. And this word means running a course. According to the Latin word, this word means running a course. So in short, curriculum can be defined as running a course to achieve a certain target. when we are running a course. The course can be of an year, the course can be of months, the course can be of week. So running a course, curriculum can be described as a course to be run to reach a certain goal. Now what could be the goal? A curriculum is planned for several reasons. The students are not a part of the curriculum, even teachers are a part of the same curriculum. And in this course, the main two things that are considered while planning are, number one is activities and number two is experience. So we need to have a good experience holder and we need to include some activities while we are planning a curriculum. Next important question that is very frequently asked is a nature of curriculum. Now for this I have even planned a very short form which is PESFOS. Now P here stands for plan, E here stands for experience, S here stands for subject matter, F here stands for field of study, O here stands for objective, and S here stands for system. Another very important question which is very frequently asked in the examination, and that is, what is curriculum development? Why do we actually need to develop it and what points are kept in the mind before developing it? So basically the goal of curriculum is to increase the standard of the education of children. We have to meet the educational goal. So for this also I have formed one short term which you can use as FEMT. Whenever such question comes like what is the need for development and you do not have the time to read it thorough, you do not have the time to understand it, so you may remember it as F here goes for feedback, E here goes for examination, M here stands for methods of teaching, and T here stands for teaching objectives. Now while teaching objectives, it's a very important concern. When we are teaching, we need to be very careful to know if the cognitive, affective and psychomotor skills are covered. We need to keep these 3 points in mind while we are planning for the teaching objectives in the curriculum. Now, like curriculum development, the next question that can be very commonly asked is, what does the curriculum need? Why do we need it? For this, you will have a short term which is as PCUBE. Why do we need a curriculum? We need curriculum to provide knowledge. We need curriculum to provide experience. We need curriculum to maintain an influence. We can decide on criteria of teacher through a curriculum. We can achieve few educational goals. We can also reflect the trends in the current education system through our main curriculum. So if a question comes like what is the need of the curriculum, this PCUBE points can be easily mentioned without describing that much. Even if you want to describe, then providing knowledge, experience, influence, this can be described in simple words. Next important point would be, what are the principles on which a curriculum is made? So for this, again, a short abbreviation, you can understand it as CUTNVM. C here means we need to have creativity. We shouldn't have the previous traditional old methods, rote learning methods in the curriculum. Then U means utility. If the content we are teaching, if the content which we are planning is of utility or not. Are we teaching the upgraded things, or are we still following the old pattern? Third is totality. We need to see if the things are balanced while making a curriculum. And for new knowledge, as I told you, we need to make sure that we are upgraded with the new knowledge. V is values, which is very important point. Everybody feels that curriculum is basically education or academics, which has everything to do with activity, experiments. But many of us forget that curriculum plays a huge role in imparting values to children also. If the values are missing, then probably we are lacking in making good citizen of the country. And M here stands for maturity. It should not look very kiddish that we have not included good things in the curriculum. The curriculum must be pretty well managed and matured. Now the next question, which also comes in the curriculum. As of now, we have seen the principles of curriculum, the need of curriculum, the development of curriculum, what is the curriculum, what is the nature of curriculum. So even if you get one question of 16 marks, I think this is more than sufficient for you to write. Now for the types, there are 4 types of curriculum, which is subject-centered. Number 2 is learner-centered. Number 3 is problem-solving. Number 4 is latent. And number 5 is a core one. Now in the last, we are going to discuss the most important and most relevant question, significant question we might get. And that is, what are the foundations of curriculum? Now to understand the foundation, we need to learn it step by step. First is idealism. Second is naturalism. Third is pragmatism. Fourth is realism. Fifth is existentialism. Sixth is essentialism. Seventh is progressivism. Now, when we talk about idealism, the foundation of such curriculums, which are totally dependent of ideas, the root of such curriculum is the cultural heritage. What points are kept in mind while making this curriculum? The heritage, the values of the Indian culture or any other culture. We basically focus on the heritage. So that kind of curriculum in a way or two may be describing more about the cultural things. Now when I talk about naturalism, naturalism focuses on the present needs. Whatever the needs are you need as a student, as a teacher, those kind of points are included in naturalism curriculum. Now when I talk about pragmatism, whatever the change comes in the education, that is reflected in such curriculum. Realism means when you talk about practical thing. As the name suggests, realism means practical. So whenever some practical kind of knowledge is imparted through the curriculum, the foundation of such realism curriculum depends on the practical things. Now for existentialism and essentialism, they consider the main subject like English, Hindi, maths. They don't pay attention to other subjects which may be important, but they don't want to include it. So such curriculum's foundation are dependent on main subjects like Hindi, English, maths, science, socials basically, and more on the literary part. Now when I say progressivism, it is clear that this approach uses problem-solving methods. You will have problem-solving methods in this type of curriculum. So up till now, I have tried to make it very short without explaining the details about it, because this is for those who have exam a day after and they just need to learn few points. So I hope the knowledge and curriculum basic concepts would have been clear by now, and the abbreviations would also help you to learn fast rather than solving or understanding it more through the book. It's just a small description of the points that you might have to cover in your examination. So I hope it was of use to you. Have a great day. Take care.